Rule 19.
Beast in a bottle. 19 chromosome, pushing genetics up to full throttle. Legend of Sleepy Hollow, fist of fury. Thin line between love and hate got blurry. Judge and jury, so sick with lyrics. Dr. Oz can't cure me. The odds in my favor. Def Jam, how to be a player. How to win friends and influence a hater. 19, all black, Darth Vader. Red line when I race tracks on paper. Erase minds with dope lines, catch vapor. Flatline through your speaker. DOA, molecules turn ether. Pitch oxygen, y'all catch breathers. Catch drift when I recite piff. Cause these lines you can't smoke and can't sniff. Heavy, might need a forklift. Round 7 pounds, but I'm not Will Smith. I am legend, God's great gift. Took the red pill and a paradigm shift. Tempted, on the edge of a cliff. You gotta be bold to choose the rabbit hole. Alice in a wonderland of gold. Dorothy on the yellow brick road. 19. Yes, Brother Johnny Group 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely thanking everyone for tuning in to this installment of the 19 Report. As promised, we would come back to you with commentary on another thought-provoking subject. Again, if you want to join up with us, you can join up with us on our personal website. That's the19report.com. Just type that into your Google search engine, and we have very high ranking in that field. So please join us and join our message board. We have about 4 or 5 people on the message board. We have questions that we will be typing into them, or they'll be typing back to us. We won't be doing it live audio today, but today we wanted to talk about something that has been really bothering me for a while now. And by bothering, I mean that it is disturbing my spirit in the sense of it's one thing when a group of people try to take advantage of you, but it's another thing when your own people try to take advantage of you and your ignorance. And the topic for the day, welcome once again to the Broke Corner. The topic of the day is think before you buy black. And the question I asked, and I got several answers to it, are affluent African Americans taking advantage of the term black in an attempt to become the new white elite? Again, if you can recall, at the end of the year, there's always a Black Friday. Now, that Black Friday is not talking about black people being able to afford things that they usually can't afford. That Black Friday is talking about balancing the economy for those who have a business who are trying to make up for losses during the year. They offer sales which aren't really sales because you already are being charged triple or quadruple what the product is worth. So they lower it down one level. Now you're being charged triple, and they call it Black Friday in hopes that you will come in and buy their overstocked merchandise. Most people think that black is referring to blacks being able to afford things, as I said, but that's not it. So now we have this group of people. And not all of them are in this, but I want you to listen to me closely. We have a group of people who are saying, we have a business, buy black. Before you put your money, before you put your energy, your spirit, your idea into buying something from someone who is carrying the slogan, buy black, investigate their spending habits and find out where they spend their money. Because in economics, if you're hoping to build a community of people who can live by pulling themselves up by their bootstrap. In other words, I start a business or I work in a field where I am commission based and I get my people, black people, to come and purchase products from me. Now, these people in Manning, South Carolina, who are quote unquote affluent blacks, where do they spend their money? If they're asking you to buy black, the money has to actually roll over 4 to 5 times, even better if it rolls over 10 times, in the hands of black people before it exits the community and goes to the Chinese, go to the Indians. You know, you buy the hair, you're buying your Black and Miles, you go to Walmart, you go to Belk's. Before that money goes there, it is supposed to benefit 5 to 10 families, black people. In other words, You come to me to buy photos. You hire me as your photographer. I go to a black-owned business to purchase my photo paper. They take their black money and go buy food. The food person takes his black money and gets his cars fixed at a black mechanic. The black mechanic takes his parts to even if it's an AutoZone. If the manager of the store is black, and it will be an upsell for him to constantly sell products, then we benefit this black person in that position by buying from them. They go to the car dealership, find out who the black car dealers are, buy from the black car dealer, and the black car dealer gets the money. This is how money turns over in your community, benefits everybody in the community, and then goes outside of the community. This is not racist talk. Number one, because blacks can't be racist. We don't have the economic and political system to be racist. But this is the same strategy that the Chinese use when they come. They will buy from you, but they will not buy the bulk of the materials that are necessary for them to survive from you. The Chinese purchase from the Chinese. That's why in every town you have a little China or a Chinatown. You have a little Italy. You have everything. And the only little Africa they had was burnt down by white people. So you have to understand when people start talking about buying black, watch them very closely, because in this town there are affluent blacks who could care less about you. They are the brand new elite. In other words, if white folks were to disappear overnight, they would take their place and treat you as bad as white folks do. So when we talk about buying black, we have to know where the money for this business that we frequent is going. I happen to know personally, I am an advocate of buying black, but I would advise anyone to buy responsibly rather than buy simply because a person has the same skin color as you. We hired a contractor to add a piece onto our home. He cheated black. He cheated his workers. He told his workers we weren't paying him, so he kept the money, him and his brother. And he half did the job. Built it all out of shape, all incorrect, and in actuality, they left the job half finished. We had to complete the job ourselves. We hired a black electrician right out of Manning, South Carolina. We hired a black air conditioner installer right out of Manning, South Carolina. He cheated us out of our money. He came and wired the house incorrectly. Till this day, we don't have electrical power in one of the rooms. Cut up the walls. I confronted this black gentleman. I even went to the courts. But when they told me they were going to take away his business, I just couldn't go through with filing a warrant on him. So I went to him face to face and said, don't you think you owe us for the damage that you did to our home? And he said to me, look at me in my eyes, if I owe you, I will pay you. Tell me what I owe you. I gave him a price. I never saw him again. In my trailer, it is a single wide trailer built in 1975. We hired black cable installers who have a business here in Manning, South Carolina. He came in, ran the wires over the top of the outside of the house, not around the base of the house where it would be neat, but just any old sloppy way that they felt they should do it and could get away with it. When I saw it, I called the gentleman and I said, is my money different than someone else's money? Well, why you say that? Because of the sloppy way that you installed the cable on my house and the way that I know you wouldn't install it on someone else's house. He said to me, I will come back and fix it. This black man never came back to fix it. I was doing construction. We're talking about buying black, and I'm showing you how it works and how it doesn't work. I was working under someone, and he told a black woman that we could do the job, put in a new floor in her trailer. We messed up the job. It bothered me so much. One day I saw this lady and I looked her in her eyes. I explained the situation. I don't have the money to repay you. All I have is a sincere apology that I even took the job to start with, but I was working on someone else's know-how. She accepted my apology, and we've been friends ever since. When it comes to entertainment in Manning, South Carolina, we are so eager to hire outside sources to come in and entertain the people. They take our $3,500, $5,000. They leave this town, take it back to their town, but they never invite us to come to their town. So in these cases, buying black is not the thing to do. If the people aren't coming into Manning, South Carolina and spending money with the local black businesses, rather they are at a big business in town or a small business like myself, we should not frequent their business. We should not promote their business until we find out what they're doing for the collective. We should not even talk about their business, to be honest with you. And we have to begin to hold people accountable for their blackness, hold them accountable for what they claim to be doing in their blackness. And if they are not what we desire, even in political office, then as a collective, we can get together, push them out of the way, and get someone else in office that's going to benefit us in ways that we can see. White folks do it. Chinese do it. The Mexicans are now making power moves and doing it. Black people are the only ones that got to love everybody, that hates themselves so much that they desire to be someone else. And the moment the opportunity comes to be someone else, we take it. So people you once knew, they now riding around, in these fancy cars. They're living in fancy houses, which is great. Growth is what we're after. But when they get there, they begin to act like white folks, the affluent, the elite. So you see them at the clubs partying with you at night because they love the nigger lifestyle, quote unquote. But in the daytime, they won't even acknowledge your presence. The sophistication comes back into play. So when you see these people advertising buy black, are they black? We are not grown. I have seen gospel groups in Manning, South Carolina singing from the youngest of ages until they die and don't grow monetarily at all, yet they take their money to invite Lee Williams and all these other artists into Manning, South Carolina. Not that I have anything against Lee Williams, but he is not from here. And we are dying broke, but the money is not turning over in our community at least 5 to 10 times. Rather, the money is legal or illegal. It doesn't matter. It has to turn over in our community. It has to go through black hands enough times that we can see the benefit and begin to build for ourselves. Economic empowerment is a must. And a lack of fear is another must. And that's why we talk so much about God and our disconnection from God, because if we were connected with the Lord of the worlds, we wouldn't be as afraid as we are. Think before you buy. Black buying propaganda, black buying rhetoric, black buying promotions that make you think you are benefiting black people when you buy from a person who's black, but they take that money to live an elite white lifestyle and don't even introduce you to how you can grow your business, your ideas, because they want it all for themselves. In South Carolina, this is what we deal with. The best you get from black affluent elites in South Carolina is a party, because they know if they give you cake, you satisfy. Oh yeah, that dude, he's all right, man. He have a party every year. We get drunk. But where is the economic growth? Where is the economic power? I want you to think about these things. Now I'm gonna answer a few questions on the message board, and then we're gonna close out. This is Tariq 1304 says that if black people are afraid to acknowledge their blackness, how can we count on them to what? How can we count on them? Okay, he corrected it. How can we count on them to stand up for us when we are in need? Well, accountability is the key to our success. But since we have gotten some power positions, we don't feel that we need to be held accountable. As I stated in the advertisement, are blacks attempting to be the new white elite? By that I mean, do they think themselves better than others and that they don't have to be held accountable for their actions? The answer to that is yes. There is nothing wrong with growth, especially not financial growth. That is the ticket. That's the key. As long as this green paper is what we have to use to survive, we need it. And we need it legally, and we need to use it wisely. But when a person begins to purchase outside of the community, when a person hires, like a lot of the affluent people here have hired me to do a job, but they hired me in hopes that I would be so desperate for a dollar, brother, that I would be so desperate for the dollar that I would take whatever they offered. So they want full price for what they're selling when they want to deal with you, and they think that you will take the deal because you a nigga, you nobody, you beneath me, so you better be glad that I'm giving you something. And that is the way they think, a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And you don't expect the affluent blacks to hang out with, the bottom feeders, quote unquote. But at the same time, if you have knowledge of something, why not share that knowledge with other people and see to it that everyone has the benefit of understanding how buying black and black economics work? Again, I think, okay, we have time for one more. Let me see. Okay, who made me the expert on black economics? No one made me the expert on black economics. It's common sense. I'm not telling you that I have the inside scoop on how money works dollar for dollar, down to the minute detail. But what I'm telling you is that when you get into the intellectual side of money and economics, the average person is not going to listen to you because in their minds, you think you better than them. So on the broke corner, when we say financial advice from the broke corner, we're saying that we're giving you advice based on where we are, where we have been, and where we will remain if we don't begin to connect ourselves with the proper sources and the proper knowledge of how to become economically empowered. That is the ticket. Number one, if you are spending $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 on a set of rims for a car, the value of the car goes down the minute you pull it off the lot. That's foolish spending. And the person who sells you the rims know that it's foolish spending. Now you got to spend $2,000, $3,000 to get your the braces and everything, the lifters and everything to make the wheels spin properly. And then the moment the tire goes flat and you spent almost $1,000 per tire, now you got to keep putting every single dime that you make into a vehicle whose value never goes up. They selling $300 hats now because they put a few little rhinestones on it. And I don't knock nobody's hustle, but $300 for a hat. I met a gentleman who paid $1,200 for a pair of shoes. This is not how you become economically empowered. If someone had this information available for me, I don't know if I would have taken it or not, but at least I would have known that I had a choice. That's what makes Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions and the 19 Report qualified to teach, because I have experienced it. And I am talking to those who may be experiencing it or may be on the verge of experiencing it. No different than a person who goes to college and spends thousands of dollars to go to school, but have no idea what they're going to do with the degree when they get out. So now you have a large debt that you have to pay that you can't pay. You come back home, you're working at McDonald's, you're working in a factory, but you still got that debt. Or you're working in your field of study, but you're not making the amount of money that it takes to repay the loan and to live at the same time. It's all about economic empowerment and wise decisions. So I would advise everyone and hope that you would come by the 19 Report website, visit the Broke Corner webpage. Again, this is Brother Johnny of Group 19 Promotions out of Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely thanking everyone. Just a little bit of, advice, a little bit of look-intos. Again, we have several people on the board, and I will probably post up their comments because I like the negative and the positive. In fact, the negatives motivate me even more because it lets me know how people think. So thanks again. This is Brother Johnny, Group 19 Promotions, Manning, South Carolina.
Group 19,
Beast in a bottle, 19 chromosome, pushing genetics up to full throttle. Legend of Sleepy Hollow, fist of fury. Thin line between love and hate got blurry. Judge and jury, so sick with lyrics. Dr. Oz can't cure me. The odds in my favor. Def Jam, how to be a player. How to win friends and influence a hater. 19, all black, Darth Vader. Red line when I race tracks on paper. Erase minds with dope lines, catch vapor. Flatline through your speaker. DOA, molecules turn ether. Pitch oxygen, y'all catch breathers. Catch drift when I recite piff. Cause these lines you can't smoke and can't sniff. Heavy, might need a forklift. Round 7 pounds, but I'm not Will Smith. I am legend, God's great gift. Took the red pill and a paradigm shift. Tempted, on the edge of a cliff. You gotta be bold to choose the rabbit hole. Alice in a wonderland of gold. Dorothy on the yellow brick road, 19.